Ah, there you are.
Whoa.
Hi, Adam.
How's it going?
All right, how are you doing?
I'm good. Sorry, I didn't realize this is going to be half my head, so I'm holding the phone and I'm very close, so everyone just gets like a, oh, happy to be here.
Perfect for Halloween, right? So, yeah. What do you got in what do you have in the background there? What kind of stuff do you have in your little area over there?
Oh, I got a lot of stuff.
Oh
I
my.
got, let's see. Oh man. Okay, well, this is my little art wall. I've got a locker that I keep, well, that's my vacuum cleaner. Um,
Optimus Prime?
yeah, I've got a anniversary edition Optimus Prime right there. There's a Yuji
Cool.
figure. There's like a Dark Deku figure on there. And I've got like my original 1980s Voltron right there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I've got an Usagi Yojimbo like limited figure from San Diego Comic Con that has Stan Sakai's like a remark on the inside cover. It's really cool.
Very
He drew
cool.
he drew Raphael and yeah, it's just pretty cool. And then over here is the SH Fig Arts Yuji. I've got a Yuji Nendoroid. Then I've got the SDCC Funko Yuji, and then the New York Comic Con Yuji Funko. Then I've got some Star versus the Forces of Evil Funkos, a couple of more figures, and then I've just got some like art that I like, classic arts. This Instagram account, this super nice dude, he made this for me. It's got like vintage Mickey Mouse comic books in the background, and then he painted a Mickey on top. And
Very
then
cool. You
yeah,
know, so were you so that Voltron, by like going to the very beginning of the things you mentioned there, were you rewatching like anime and nerdy stuff when you were young?
yeah, I just didn't think it was nerdy stuff. I just thought it was all cool.
You know, Voltron is my first anime, and I had a Voltron figure, but I broke it all up. Like all the arms and everything are all broken up, and
Oh yeah,
I'm sure my mom threw it away. But it was like this heavy metal figure, you know, like
yeah,
way
that's that
heavier
one.
than average. Is
That's
that it?
that one.
Oh, that's
Yeah. Yeah, it's die cast. It's die cast metal. Actually, a lot of my toys. So I have like this one over here, and I actually have another. I have a whole nother like case over here of stuff.
uh,
But this case over here, top shelf is a bunch of the Ninja Turtle figures that NECA did, the ones that are made
uh-huh.
to look like the original TMNT live action movies. And then I've got another Voltron, Soul of Choke again, like the high end Bandai line. I've got a
Hmm.
Megazord and a Voltron over there. And then on the bottom shelf is my original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle van with my like OG turtles that I played with when I was a kid. So
That's so awesome. Yeah, that so we're kind of close to the same age, and like Ninja Turtles were so huge. Like, you know, that was the thing. Like the figures, the cartoon. I remember being at school and people were just like singing the theme song, just like Out of the Blue and stuff. Right? I
oh
mean, like
yeah.
so huge. And the movies came out. I remember seeing the second movie in the theaters. My dad took me. I'm sure he hated it, you know, especially when Vanilla Ice came on stage in the movie and everything. But man, it was so big, so big. That's awesome that you
Yeah.
got some of that stuff still.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I,
man.
I have most of my old like childhood toys. I just like I was the kid who kept everything in boxes and didn't take it out but put it on display. So it's all like complete, not missing any parts. And yeah, I just like right before COVID in 2019 went through all my old childhood toys and kind of just yeah, parsed through everything and it's wild. Reliving the childhood memories. Yeah, I've got like all my OG Power Ranger toys. They're all in boxes, things like that. So GI Joe, all that stuff.
You're so smart. Like literally all my G.I. Joes, all the legs are broken off. You know, there's this the
Oh,
little
really?
rubber band connects their two
Yeah,
legs.
yeah,
All of
yeah,
them. All of them are broken. And
yeah.
sometimes when I'm at like conventions, I'll see like G.I. Joes and I'm like, yeah. But it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel the same as having your original stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
that is crazy. All right, well let's talk about you. And guys, by the way, I see some people adding questions. Go ahead and use that little question mark to add your questions, and I'll ask Adam some of your questions, not just all of mine. So speaking of conventions, you're a busy guy, right? You were at you know, I met you at that box lunch thing that you had going on where you were at the mall here in Austin, and a lot
Mhm.
of people were coming by to meet you and get autographs. I saw that you were at a convention this past weekend. Is that right?
No, I was actually home this weekend. I was
Oh,
This was a rare weekend where I was at my house.
very nice.
Yeah.
Well, what do you have coming up? Do you have any other conventions on your schedule coming up?
Yeah. I'm actually, so I leave Thursday. I'll be up in Portland, Oregon for KomoriCon. So I'll be there this weekend, and then I fly back on Monday, and I leave Tuesday to go to New York. I'll be at Anime NYC the weekend after that. Weekend
You have
after
a
that,
terrible life, by the way. This
I know,
you gotta go Portland, and then you gotta go to New York City. This
I
is
know.
terrible.
It's basically just me eating my way through the Uh, and then let's see, and then I'm home for Thanksgiving. So the next weekend after that's Thanksgiving weekend, and then the weekend after that I'm in Dallas. I'll be in Dallas for Anime Frontier.
Oh yeah.
And then I think I have something the weekend after that, but I can't remember what it is. And then we're at like Christmas and New Year already. And then I'm the first week of January, I am at Anime Los Angeles in Long Beach. So yeah, then it's 2023 already in
Rough.
January.
That's
And
rough.
yeah.
I haven't been to Anime Frontier, but I've heard it's a really well organized convention, and then you'll get to see some of I'm sure some of the Crunchyroll Funimation folks that you've worked with before, right?
Yeah. I'll get to see a bunch of the Dallas people. My plan is actually to stay in town a couple of days and go and visit the studio and um, yeah, just get some FaceTime with those guys and say hi and let them know that even though we record Jujutsu Kaisen at a different studio, we still love them.
Yeah, you're around. You're here. You're here.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I think, at least from a fan perspective, I think one of the things that fans think about, like the voice actor's life, like it's so glamorous. Part of it is being at those conventions. I think, like, that at least from a fan perspective is like, wow, that's really really cool. And I wonder if you could kind of tell us what it's like to be at a convention. What is kind of the routine there? What do you do there, and what's kind of behind the scenes kind of unique about that?
yeah. I mean, it is sort of this little interesting moment of like people are coming to see you and all that, and it's I'm very grateful. I'm very, very thankful because it means people are resonating with the characters and the shows and things like that. Um, it's always going to be weird. I am a fan of all this stuff too, So like I like to collect things and go and get prints and art from Artist Alley and stuff like that at conventions. So it's unique. It's like I don't know. It's just interesting. I tell people I describe it as like I feel like a lot of the times I'm looking at it from the outside in, almost
Mhm.
as if it's something that's happening to my best friend, and I'm like, oh man, it's so cool you get to go do these things. And then I'm like, wait a minute, that's me. Like I'm the one getting to do these things. Um, but I'm very, very thankful. It's not common. I mean, truly, like it's just not common. And even when I was on a show like Star versus the Forces of Evil, that was wildly popular. It did big numbers for Disney. A lot of people online really liked it and stuff like that. Like the cast wasn't getting invited to conventions. It's sort of this unique niche with anime that people want to see the voice actors that voice these characters at these conventions. So it's been a lot of fun. I mean, I've gotten to meet so many amazing people. Some of the Jujutsu Kaisen cast, we were just in Australia for Crunchyroll Expo Australia, so we had like a little adventure there. We all went out early. I love my castmates, so we all have fun. Get you know eating food and hanging out and doing fun things. We're currently group chatting this morning about what shows we want to try and see when we're in New York, if we're going to go see a musical or what we're going to. So, yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool. I love hearing how fans resonate with characters, and I've been told the range of things at this point. Where maybe on one end of this spectrum, it's like, oh yeah, I just started Jujutsu Kaisen, Yuji's pretty cool. To like, hey, I was going through a really rough time. Thanks so much for the effort that you put in, the comedy that you brought to the dub or whatever it might be. Like people just expressing that it really has made a difference. So, yeah, I feel very fortunate to get to do what I do. I feel very very lucky.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely want to talk about Yuji in a second here. I do want to ask you since we've been talking about you being a fan too. Have you ever maybe at San Diego Comic Con or wherever you've been, have you run into someone or seen someone there where suddenly it went from you be kind of you from went from you be kind being in guest mode to you being like, wow, I want to meet that guy or that's really cool. That's someone I want to shake their hand,
Oh,
or get a selfie with.
yeah, yeah. So let's see. Definitely. Yeah, so we used to share panel when with Star versus the Forces of Evil when we were at San Diego Comic Con, we used to share panels with other shows.
Hmm.
And so our second year, I think, doing a panel at San Diego Comic Con for Star versus the Forces of Evil, we shared the panel with a show called Milo Murphy's Law. And Milo Murphy's Law was created by Dan Povenmire and Swampy Marsh. Swampy Marsh? Yeah. Sorry. It's early. It's still early. Actually, it's 11:15. I have no excuse other than no excuse at all. So Dan and Swampy, the creators of Phineas and Ferb, also created
Mm.
Milo Murphy's Law, and the lead character Milo was voiced by Weird Al.
What?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So I got to be on a panel with Weird Al, and my best friend was also with me in San Diego, and he's a massive Weird Al fan. And I was first I was like, oh man, I can't believe I'm going to be on a panel with Weird Al. This is going to be amazing. But then I was like, I got to get it. I got to make sure Brian gets a picture with him. It's like there's two things my buddy loves: Back to the Future and Weird Al.
Hmm.
And I'm a big Weird Al fan too. But I was like, I got to make this happen for my buddy. So I instantly was like, uh, hey, Mr. Al, can I can my buddy Brian get a picture with you? And then we shared some laughs. We had a great panel and chit chatted in the elevator, like to the back area of San Diego Comic Con. But I was totally geeking out in that moment. And yeah, I mean, he's a very normal guy. He's very much normal Al, not to like, you know,
He's not too weird. So,
break the marketing. But yeah, he's super nice.
but well, look at this. We'll promote him because hey, his whole
Yeah, yeah,
biographical
it's a new
movie is out
movie.
right now. So go watch it after
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. Go support a good dude.
All right. Hey, like we got a bunch of questions, so I bet some of these are about Yuji. So let me get in here. Or wow. Okay. Let's see what we got. So I want to ask this one from Josh because he's one of our mutuals and he's entering voice acting. So he has a voice acting question, and he says,
Okay.
um, "This has been on my mind lately." This is him. Is a college degree really necessary to become a professional VA? And I should also note that I've been seeing him tweet about theater arts programs. So I guess if you could kind of give a little bit of your thoughts on that, because I feel like you have a little bit of a non-traditional route maybe to becoming a voice actor.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I would say it's non-traditional. I mean, I started when I was younger. I've been doing it since I was 16. And it kind of was just like what
Radio commercials, right?
it was radio commercials. Yeah, radio. I mean, but I wasn't like, I mean, at that age, I wasn't intentionally seeking out one thing or the other. I didn't know. I mean, I was just like, oh yeah, an audition for this thing. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. And it just happened to be radio commercials. If it was a TV show, it would have been a TV show. If it was sorry, I'm holding my phone by the way. So if it looks like there's an earthquake, it's okay.
I'll keep it
Um,
stable for us.
yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, so I wouldn't say that's necessarily non-traditional. It's just, yeah, it's just
Mhm.
how I started. I mean, I started with an acting class. But so the question was, do you need a degree to be a voice actor? The answer is absolutely not. Um, which I know some people are like, yes, and some people are like, oh, dang it, because they're in school for acting. I mean,
Mhm.
I still majored in, sorry, I know I'm moving around a lot. I still majored in theater and TV production. But if I could do it all over again, I would do something like business or marketing,
Uh,
something non-industry related. And I mean, to be honest with you, that's sort of true for the entire industry on camera as well. Um, just because you can take specialized classes and learn technique and all that stuff without paying the significant cost of a four-year
mhm.
academy. So, um, yeah, I don't think college is super necessary. I think in a lot of ways, college is not necessary these days. There's so many other ways to make money and learn what you need to do besides going to a formal college. Of course, if you want to be a doctor, lawyer, like something that, requires a lot of schooling, then, you got to do that. But voice acting, just take some acting classes.
That's pretty good advice and encouraging one because as you know out there there's so many people. I feel like just from kind of a top down look, there's so many people since the pandemic and just before the pandemic really like suddenly starting to pursue voice acting and voice acting opportunities. So I think
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of people out there trying to figure this out right now. So that's
Yeah.
good stuff. Um, I want to talk about Yuji a little bit. That's at least in the anime community. That's the character you're known most for.
Mhm.
And you've mentioned how it's been a blessing to be at these conventions. But how specifically has voicing that character really been a blessing for you?
Well, it's kind of an actor's dream to a get to sink your teeth into a character that is interesting in and of himself. Like you don't,
Mhm.
regardless of what the show is or how the fans receive it. So Yuji's a really kind of unique protagonist. He's not like your other shonen protagonist. He's not really all about himself. He's about his friends and about making sure that they're okay and all that stuff, which is really cool. He's a great blend of humor and like being able to kick butt, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, but also, he is a part of a show that is really resonating with people, and people are watching and consuming. And bye, Christina, or hello.
Yeah, we should say
Um,
hi, Christina.
um, so the fans are really liking the show, and um, it's kind of exploding. So like it's sort of this trifecta, and it just doesn't happen very often. So I feel very very blessed to be on a show that is not only something that's fulfilling acting wise, but that's also very popular with people. Like people like it. It's actually a great show. Um, and yeah, and it's wildly popular. So it's been really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. For people that are really into anime and may not be into other animation, you may have kind of come up on their radar since Jujutsu Kaisen, but you keep referring back to Star versus the Force of Evil. That was a huge show, right? Like,
Mhm.
was it really through that show that you kind of learned your technique for kind of voicing animation, or how did that kind of develop, and how does it feed into what you're doing now with anime?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it was more of like just a long journey, picking up things here and there.
Hmm.
Uh, Star wasn't my first like animated series. I was one of the series regulars on a show that LeBron James had that nobody watched because it wasn't on a TV channel.
Really? What was that show?
It was called The LeBrons,
The
and
LeBron.
yeah, so it was called The LeBrons. I voiced a kid named Eric on that show. But there was an amazing other amazing voice actors on that show. Andrew Cushino, Dempsey Papillon, gosh, who else? So many other people. But yeah, it was just like it that was, another great opportunity to just like get in and work. I did some episodes of Star Wars Clone Wars when it was on Cartoon
Hmm.
Network.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so it wasn't necessarily like, oh, that kind of solidified things. However, when you are on a show for that long, so started 4 seasons, which was a huge rarity um, for Disney at the time. Maybe only like two other shows had 4 seasons. When you're with a character for that long and you're on a show for that long, it really does like there are no more nerves, so nerves completely go away, and you really get to sink your teeth into like technique, character building, fun, all the things that really kind of set off a performance. So, when you do auditions, it's just you can live in that headspace now, and it
Hmm.
makes you, I think, do better work, which in turn makes you more bookable and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, it wasn't like, I just booked a show and then was learning how to do it. I think it was just like over time, plus all the other things that you don't see, which is like improv classes, acting classes, all that stuff too. I just never stopped doing stuff. I never, like, what, even if I was getting paid for it or not, I just never stopped. Um, and then, yeah, for Jujutsu Kaisen, I mean, like a show like Star where you're recording and then it's getting animated versus a show like Jujutsu Kaisen where it's already animated and then you're putting the
Yeah.
voice on. You're still acting. It's just a slightly different technique. I
Hmm.
always say dubbing is like acting in a box because you have to bring all the emotion, but within a confine of like a structure, meaning like how the mouth moves for the character and also the time limit that they're talking, because you're matching what's already been animated. Um,
So was that a
but
difficult transition for you, having done these American animated shows and then having to kind of do the dubbing with the Japanese shows?
not really, because I had done a ton of live action dubbing. So I had a lot of practice doing that. And yeah, no, the hard transition from anything to Jujutsu Kaisen was more so the timing of when Jujutsu Kaisen came out. Because
Oh.
Jujutsu Kaisen came out in October of 2020. So we were like full-fledged in pandemic. I was recording a brand new show, brand new director, brand new genre from my home,
Hmm.
not only acting but being an audio engineer, working my own, like all the technical stuff on my end. So that was the hard part of um like the transition into anime, I guess. So yeah.
I've heard other voice actors say that that was a difficult transition, but that they're glad to have developed all those skills because they kind of understand the process kind of more holistically now.
Yeah, I mean, I always got it. I like, yeah. I mean, like, I'm like, I already understood it. I already understood the process, and I think that's partly because, like, Star was on so long. I would sometimes, like, if I had someone who I had never met before guest starring on Star, I would sit in the engineer side of the booth and watch them do their lines, so that way I could say hi to them when they were finished. One of the most fun I ever had doing that was in a session with Kari Walgren. Kari Walgren was,
Hmm.
um, she came in and I forget, I think she was playing a baby of some kind, like Star's cousin or something. I don't know. She was playing some baby, and just listening to her do her thing was super fun. It was a great learning experience, and also just, yeah, really cool to see the engineers do their stuff.
Mm.
So, yeah.
The uh, doing the voice of Disney XD, was that before Star? Was it during Star? How did that job kind of come about?
Yeah, so during Star, we were doing some marketing for I can't remember if it was Halloween episodes, but I'm pretty sure it was around Halloween time. And Disney had created these like live chats that they wanted to do. Uh, on YouTube, they were live chats of Marco. And Adobe created this software, this character animator software that is available now, but at the time they made it just for Disney.
Mm.
And they rigged Marco basically and set me in front of a laptop, and I moved and talked live on YouTube as Marco. So it was kind of like animated live, almost like an animated puppet,
Wow.
which was really cool. And so we had rehearsals. We had a bunch of rehearsals for these lives. It was really kind of technically grueling. And so all of us got really close, but I was working very tightly with the marketing department at Disney. And I guess just coincidentally during that time, they were looking for a new voice of XD. And one of the marketing directors said, "Hey, would you be interested in auditioning to be the voice of XD?" And I was trying to play it as cool as possible. It's like, yeah, sure, like no problem at all. Yeah, yeah, like send it to my agent. Yeah, I'm happy to audition. So ended up auditioning, and the process probably took 5 or 6 months from my first audition
Wow.
to like actually like starting working. I had 3 callbacks for that thing. Um, and then once the marketing department approved of my voice for the channel, then it got sent over to Disney TV Animation because they had to make sure that it didn't sound too much like Marco, because they didn't
Mm.
want Marco to be the voice of Disney
Right.
XD. They wanted it to sound different. So thankfully all that was cleared. uh, Marco's, his voice is a little bit higher than my natural register, and then the promo voice Adam is slightly different than how I'm talking. So it's even further apart than Marco. So it all worked out. So yeah, that I've been the voice of the channel since 2017, I think, either 2016 or 2017.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of your voice, you've got I don't even know how to describe it, but it's a very boyish voice, right? Have you
Yeah.
have you have you detected a change in that over the years? Not that you're old or anything, but as you're getting older, I mean,
Yeah.
is there a change now that's occurred?
I don't know because I'm just with it all the
Yeah,
time.
you're living with it.
Um, what's really funny is probably 5 months ago, I was having a chat with my agent, and I was like, "Hey, I've been using the same demo that I made like 20 years ago." And I was like, "Should I update that at some point?" And they were like, "You know what? You probably should, even though you sound fairly similar." So,
Mm.
I mean, I definitely think it has changed. But yeah, I mean, I'm still, most of what I book is still in that like 13 to kind of 18, 13 to, sorry.
Okay. Lost it for a second.
13 to like 18 or 19. So yeah,
Okay. Oh, I hear a puppy.
that is a dog barking.
He's
Yeah.
welcome to join us. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, so let's see what else I've got for you. Yeah. So kind of just continuing with Disney stuff. I can't even remember where I saw this. Maybe it was Instagram or maybe you said this in person, but you kind of mentioned that your brand, if you have a brand, is kind of family friendly, and you know, it fits with what Disney's doing certainly. And why do you kind of go for that brand image?
Um, I think so. When I first started acting, it was always just like on my mind that I didn't want to do anything that I would like not want my family to see.
Hmm.
And so I've just kind of kept that. I think there is some cool value to like my first big thing that was widespread that people started knowing who I was for was Star. And while a lot of older people liked it, people in their late teens, early 20s, sometimes older than that, really liked Star, there was a widely young audience. And I just feel like
Hmm.
if you are going to portray characters of a certain age and on for a specific audience, that for me I wanted to present a congruent like version of that of
Yeah.
myself for that, and I
Yeah.
wanted so like if a 9-year old really loved Marco and was looking at Instagram with her or his parents or something like that, that they wouldn't be seeing stuff that's like super crass, that it could be an extension of the experience that they were experiencing with the character.
Hmm.
um so it's just easy to not do stuff that's super crass or
Yeah.
adult or whatever, and I don't know. I mean, not that there isn't stuff like that that's hilarious and really funny. I just think for me, I would rather stay all ages.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to do that stuff to be funny or to I don't know, impact people or make a difference. So I think sometimes it's almost the lowest hanging fruit. It's easier to go lowbrow
Hmm.
than it is to try and find stuff that's fun and funny. That's not like crass, but yeah, no judgment on anyone else. Just for me, I wanted to make it. I wanted to sort of provide a complete experience for people. So yeah,
Yeah, that's super cool. Like I don't there might be a good number of other examples like you, but when I when I think about like the Disney actors and things like that, right? And the wholesome kind of series on TV, but then the actors grow up and their Instagram accounts or their Twitter accounts become very adult, and sometimes put out content that I'm like, whoa, and I have kids now, and I think about that. What are they seeing, and what are they going to emulate? But years ago, I had I was doing a Big Brother Big Sister, and the little boy we were with, he was really into, I won't name her, but a very specific Disney Channel actress. And then she kind of just went kind of crazy. And years later, I wonder now, like, what impact did that have on that person's life, and what impact could it have had if that person
yeah,
that they modeled themselves after, if that person had been very positive influence. So yeah, again, like it's your life, right? Obviously you're not beholden to have to be like
right.
your character after you leave, but it is really encouraging to see folks like yourself kind of go with a different angle there that may be
Yeah,
different from how a lot of the world is.
yeah. I think too. Like I don't know. I really try.
look, this industry specifically, and when you start doing stuff that like people recognize and you're getting attention and stuff like that, I think the pitfall and the trap is to start being like making it all about you. Like people
Hmm.
make it, actors make it all about themselves. And again, no judgment on anyone else. Just speaking about my own life.
Hmm.
I really wanted to try and not make it all about me. It's
Hmm.
not all about me, and not forget that the fact that people are even looking at my Instagram or following me on Twitter or whatever it may be has very little to do with me. It has more to do with the fact that they like the characters. And sure, I bring life, and I do my part, but it's a very collaborative thing. So like I said, I just view it all as more of an extension of myself. And so don't want to I don't feel like it's the place for me to be like, well, I want to be whoever I want to be. Let me live my life, and then feel like I have to share that with everybody, because then it's all posturing anyway. It's more like
Yeah.
I'm free to be who I am in this room and in my life. It doesn't I don't have to show you who I am to tell you who I am. But, that's why social media to me is more of a, yeah, I just want to keep it a positive, light, happy place. Troll my friends here and there, but other than that, make it make it an extension of the characters. So
That's good stuff. I do want to get to some of these audience questions, so I'll just ask you one more question, and then I'll go to a couple of them, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up. But
cool.
I did. I think you actually. I think I first actually knew about you through some stories about that I had read online about your Super Boba meetups. I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's how like I first like, oh, who is this guy, right? And I just kind of wonder how that idea came about. It's such a cool idea of like kind of connecting with your fans and kind of developing community.
Yeah. Well, I'm super obsessed with boba, so that's
There you go.
like basically like they say, do what you know.
Right.
I know boba. So yeah, no, when Star was on, I remember just seeing a lot of people who wanted to come to the panels in San Diego, but couldn't afford to get a ticket to San Diego Comic-Con. So I
Mm.
basically talked to Darren, who created Star, and I was like, look, I want to do sort of a fan meetup event where we get together, we hang out, and we just drink boba with the people who love our show,
Mhm.
and that's it. And it started off really simply. There's an amazing mom and pop owned boba shop down in San Diego who
Mhm.
hosted our event, and yeah, I mean, again, I love boba. It was easy to like just want to like take a break from San Diego Comic Con and go drink a boba, but
Uh-huh.
then also do it with people who love Star and create again a fan experience that they could say that they got to come and hang out with the voice actors and the creator and all that stuff. So it would be something that I personally would want to attend. Like
Yeah.
I don't love like waiting in lines and stuff like that. I would much rather go to like a little
Mhm.
gallery pop up or
Mhm.
something like that. So I just created what I mean, basically I created what I like.
Yeah.
And thankfully people like it also. So yeah, so we did it for I think I think this past year, because we didn't do it in 2020 or 21. We did one this year at San Diego, and I think that was the fourth San Diego Super Awesome Boba meetup. But I have also done one at New York Comic Con
Mhm.
in 2019. So I did two in 2019, I think. Yeah. So anyway, I think we've done about like five or six.
Yeah. Super cool idea. Really simple, but really
Yeah,
great way to connect with people.
and get
Okay.
free
So
help.
I want to get to some of these questions. Before I get there, I do want to mention I want to make a couple recommendations for those that are watching. Go watch Orbital Children on
Hmm.
Netflix, I believe. You play Taya, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a really, I loved it. I love that
Did you
show.
like it? Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I feel like it kind of went under the radar, but a really great show. I hope people check that out. I watched Goodbye Don Glees in the theaters a few months
Oh
ago.
yeah.
Another really terrific piece of work. So I don't know if when that's gonna, I don't know if it's out. Maybe it's out on DVD already.
Not
Um,
yet. I think Blu-ray is coming. DVD Blu-ray is coming in December. I think for that.
Okay, so yeah, I definitely recommend folks check that one out also. So, Adam's been on a lot of great stuff. We didn't even get to talk about like your PBS documentaries with the Kung Fu and all that,
Oh
but
yeah.
you've been in so many cool things. So definitely check out a lot of Adam's stuff. Let me ask you some of these questions. Add more questions, guys, if you'd like. Um, hmm, 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 hmm. Um, So people are asking, what's your favorite Marco line? What's your favorite Yuji line? Is there a favorite kind of line you have from any of your characters?
Oh gosh, there's so many.
Hard one.
There's
That's
too
hard.
many. There's too many. Hold on 1 second. I'm just reading this comment. Does Adam check his DMs? I sent a very personal thank you a while back, and I'd love for him to read it. I actually don't. I probably went to my filtered requests, and I don't go in there very often, Ranger. But I will go in and check it out. Okay. Hold on. How do I click out of the comments so I can see myself? Wait. Hold on. I'm going back. Well, so anyway, so favorite lines. Well, Stark versus the Forces of Evil. I love. You come to my house, you bring toilet paper. Like Martha was ahead of its time. Yeah, there's so many funny ones in that.
Well, and you know, a couple people here trying to get some inside information. Any news on that you can share about maybe more Star versus the Force of Evil or more Jujutsu Kaisen?
Oh, as of right now, there's no plans for other Star, but I mean, all of us would be totally open to it. So maybe we will. Who knows? Maybe we'll see some at another time. And then, yeah, JJK. I mean, season 2 is coming 2023, so that's going to be really fun. I'm super excited for that. When then they asked about the lines, right? What?
Yeah. If you can remember a line for Yuji.
Oh yeah. I mean, Yuji has again some really funny lines. He has all the stuff that's like really serious. You know, I don't want to regret the way I lived. You know, I don't know how I'll feel when I die, but I don't want to regret the way I lived. But then he also has all the fun stuff with like Toto and my name's Yuji Tadori. I'm into girls like Jennifer Lawrence. Nice to meet you. Like things like that that are just super goofy. You know, he has so many funny things. You're gonna make me dumber than I already was, and things like that. So
Very nice. Very
yeah.
nice. Here's a fun question. Taco Boy Designs very obviously asked, what's your favorite taco?
Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna go with a location. There is a place in Los Angeles called Puerto Nuevo, and it is okay. So I like the good version of something that I used to eat when I was a kid that probably wasn't a good version. So Taco Bell has, just go with me on this journey.
Yeah.
Taco Bell has these, you know, like the simple crispy tacos with like the ground beef, lettuce, tomato, cheese, whatever, right? Horrible for you. Bad. No Taco Bell. I literally have not had fast food probably in like 20 something years. I don't even remember. But there is this Mexican food place by my house. It's family owned. It's been there for like 40 years. They are amazing and they're super sweet. But they do like a hard shell taco with their ground beef, and their ground beef is like the best ground beef. But then they do lettuce, tomato, cheese, and their mild salsa is like the best salsa I've ever had in my life. I think I know what I'm getting for lunch today. It's the best mild salsa I've ever had in my life. I would drink it. If you had a cup of it right here for me right now, I would drink it. That's how good it is. Those are my favorite tacos in LA.
Very nice.
Taco Bell is, if you're in the comments saying Taco Bell is greater, Taco Bell is not greater, I will open your eyes to Puerto Nuevo.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Do you so some people want to know like what your favorite anime is, or what manga you'd like to see become an anime?
Ooh. One of my favorite animes that I think doesn't get enough credit, and if you haven't watched it, you should watch it, is Noragami. Noragami is one of my favorites. I love that anime. It's so good. As far as like manga that don't have an adaptation yet, I don't know if I can pull one.
Yeah.
I don't read as much manga that's not already been adapted. Usually what happens is like a show will come out and I'll be like, oh, I want to know what happens next, and I'll go and like some stuff. Or it'll be something that I'm on, like with JJK, like as soon as I got JJK, you know, started watching reading the manga as well. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm gonna ask one more question from our subscriber Michael. He watched the first 3 to 4 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen and he enjoyed it, but he kind of stalled out on it. And what he wants to know is, can you make a pitch to him to continue watching Jujutsu Kaisen?
Oh man.
So, in my opinion, the show goes 0 to 60 from episode 1. If you stalled out in episode 4, you should try again because you're about to meet some amazing characters. And what I love about the characters in JJK is none of them are stereotypical characters. They all have like a unique thing about it. Nobara, for example, is not your typical female character in anime. She's not like sexualized. She's just really cool and really good at what she does and totally kick butt. You're going to meet a character named Toto. You do not want to not watch Toto and Yuji, their interactions. It's hilarious. It is so funny. And then the last 2 episodes of season 1 of JJK are some of like the best anime episodes I've ever seen. I'm not saying they're the best. There's other shows that like we only had 1 season in a movie, so you can't start talking about like how amazing it is this early. However, those last two episodes are amazing. The music. If you're not watching season 1 of JJK, you're missing so much good music. The music, the top tier animation. Like you have to go. What was this person's name?
This is Michael.
Michael, listen to me. I don't give bad recommendations. I don't give bad recommendations for food. I don't give bad recommendations for shows. I don't waste my own time. I'm in Tokyo Revengers, and I thought it was stupid until episode 8. And then I got hooked. Don't get me wrong. Then I was in. Episode 8 or 9 happened, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to know what happens next. But the first few episodes were lame. So listen, I'm not going to steer you wrong. You need to go watch Jujutsu Kaisen. Stop waiting. I know everyone hypes it up, so you're probably like, everyone hypes it up. I don't want to watch it. Don't listen. Just go watch it.
Hey, I totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree. I stalled out on Jujutsu Kaisen at first, and then I came back to it and gave it another shot, and I love it. Really great series. Yeah, so everyone go check out Jujutsu Kaisen. Obviously, most of you already have it. If you haven't watched it, go watch that. I already mentioned Goodbye Don Glees when that comes out on Blu-ray. Go check that out. My personal recommendation was Orbital Children. Go check out Tokyo Revengers. Shadow's House season 2 is I think
also
complete right now.
Yeah. So season 2 is complete. Also, another like flew under the radar show. If you liked Promised Neverland or any of those like creepy, kind of like mysterious anime, Shadow's House is really fun. So
yeah, probably one of the most highly acclaimed series of the last year or 2 here. So definitely check that out. Follow Adam on Instagram, Ninja Mac. Also on Twitter, Ninja Mac. He tweets lots of cool stuff. So
TikTok,
definitely check him
Ninja
out.
Mac, YouTube, Ninja Mac. Just I've cornered the Ninja Mac market basically.
Yeah, and also if you like martial arts, check it out. He's got lots of cool stuff with martial arts too. I mean, just personally, I want to know, do you still keep up with all that?
Yeah. Still train.
Very cool.
I'm getting old, so I've got to make sure I don't lose it.
Yeah, you got to work extra hard probably. So, well, thank you for joining me today, Adam. I really appreciated it.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun learning all about you and learning about your thoughts on all these series and tacos, obviously too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Everyone, follow Adam, follow us too. We appreciate it, and we thank you all for joining us today. We hope you have a great day. Take care, everyone. God bless, and we will see you later.
Yeah. Bye, guys. See ya.
See ya.